Hello, this is Charles Fockaert on November the 8th, 2017. This is number 21, I believe, in the series On the Road with Charles Fockaert. I want to welcome all of you. Thank you for supporting this channel. It sure is good to be sitting still for a while. I've been here since the 4th. So how many days is that? 4 if I count them right. And I want to welcome all of you. Lots of things to talk about. It's really nice to be able to not have to do much. I did get out yesterday and I cleaned and then rubbing compound and waxed a small area. This is the outside of this mini Winnie is bigger than you realize when you, especially when you start to make it look a little better and kind of protect it. Before I go any further, I got permission from Daryl Barr to use his songs on his CD. Thank you, Ryan. Good luck. Mr. Barr says all the best and good luck on your YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Mr. Barr. Also, I talked about the mice. I got the mices. I got the mouse in the house. And them little critters are pretty sharp, man. I put peanut butter. I was going to bring it out and show you, but you can imagine in your mind. I'm going to paint you a word picture. I put the peanut butter on the little tang, and you put the spring underneath. You put the what is it? Great word picture, right? Well, I'm going to get it. Okay, hang on. So here it is. I put the peanut butter on the top of the tang, and they must have come and licked it off, because I got 2 traps here, and all the peanut butter was gone. So they think they're smarter than me, but guess what? I'm smarter than a mouse, I think. So I put it inside there. It's inside that little circle there. You'll see it underneath. It's going to take a little bit more. And guess what? I'm going to win this battle because I got all the peanut butter I think I'm going to need to win this battle. What do you think? So I've been reading this book, as I mentioned, The Camp of the Saints, and I wanted to bring up one quote that I found on one of the pages here. It's in chapter 15. This fellow back in 1973 called the mass media a whore. This guy was way ahead of his time. This is an excellent read. I can't put it down hardly. And there's another quote that I'm going to attribute to, I think it's pronounced John Raspail. I read another book by another Frenchman, maybe it was Hugo. My memory is not what it used to be, but it's in my small library here. I'm going to go grab it. Victor Hugo. And there's a fellow there in one of his books. His name is Jean Valjean. So anyway, this fella, Jean Raspail, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Raspail, or something like that. He says, nothing nowadays is as frightening as the truth. Nothing nowadays is as frightening as the truth. And ain't that the truth? Hey, by the way, you deadbeats there in California, you property tax deadbeats in California, you pay your fair share. You know, that property tax is used for schools, for public schools. So you're depriving children of the needed tax monies that they need to get an education. And you need to pay your property tax. And if you get your driver's license and your professional license taken away from you, guess what? You deserve it. You deserve it. And they might even put you in jail. So you better get off your deadbeat butt and pay them taxes. And I don't care what you got to do to get that money. Work 3 jobs. In fact, you should do what I was told to do. Commute 5 hours one way. 5 hours one way. Get a job, you losers. Get a job. I want to talk about the chemtrails. The chemtrails. They're all over, folks. I've got several photos that I documented, and I sent an email to John Tester, the senator from Montana, and that POS sent me an email back saying, Charles, never mind, buddy. Those are just contrails. I got your back. Don't worry about it. He sent me another email here the other day saying he wants my input on tax reform. Can you believe these hypocrites? Anyway, chemtrails are all over, folks. Montana, I got documented all over Montana, on the western northwest Montana. Then I went down to Idaho, and I got pictures of chemtrails in Idaho. I'm going to show you them here in just a moment. So these pictures of the chemtrails were taken in the driveway in the home of Mr. Toxic. He was my mechanic, and you'll have to watch the other videos to learn about that experience. But here we are in Pocatello, Idaho. Actually, technically, Chubbuck, Idaho. We got chemtrails all over the place, and you know what? Most people don't even notice them. And then here's what I took yesterday. They're getting pretty smart there. They're hiding them better, and I bet you 99.9999% of the people up there don't even look up in the sky. They don't really appreciate what we have here in God's and Yahweh's creation. And they hide them in the clouds now. They're getting very clever with what they're doing, folks. The plane's headed that way, which would be southeast. See that? They hide right on the edges so nobody can really tell what's going on. Here's another one that I took. So it's not just 1 or 2, but it's everywhere. These people are spraying all over the country, I would assume, because here I am. Montana's a pretty big state. Through Idaho, through Utah, and now in Nevada, they're spraying everywhere. Hey, but not to worry, those are just contrails. Senator John Tester wouldn't lie to us. So we got the vets, and I looked for it. I'm going to have to find it. Veterans Day's coming up this week, and you know how we honor the vets. You know, they're fighting for our country, and they get special privileges, and they get special parking space. There was a parking space there reserved for the vets. We support our troops. You see it all over. Hey, I got news for you, vets. You're not fighting for your country. You're fighting for the U.S. government, and you're fighting for the Esau Israelites. And you probably don't want to hear that, because the truth, nothing nowadays is as frightening as the truth. You want to believe in with all your heart that you went to Iraq and you went to Afghanistan, or you sat on your ass in South Korea or Japan, putting in your time to get your pension so you could get yourself an RV and collect your pension, your military pension, and most of the brain dead people in the United States, the Americans, think that you're just, wow, you fought for the freedom. You fought for the, except for when we're being censored on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, and Google is changing and adjusting and manipulating the logarithms. But hey, you're fighting for our truths. You're fighting for our freedoms, our liberties, and you guys are macho, especially you Marines, man. You Navy SEALs, man. You're macho. And I bet you'd like to kick my ass, wouldn't you? Yeah, well, good. That means I'm getting through to you. You got duped. You got deceived. And by the way, explain to us, you vets that haven't committed suicide yet. I understand that 20 veterans or military personnel are committing suicide every day. And I read somewhere where between such and such a date, there was a 5-year period, 2002 to 2007, or I forget, 2007 to 2012. What, 4 million vets committed suicide, I think it was. I might be off a million or so, but come on, folks. If you fought for your country, why are you committing suicide at such a high rate? I'm not going to commit suicide, all righty? And I didn't go to Vietnam, thank goodness, because while I was being told that I need to go fight the communists because of the domino effect, Mr. Esau Edomite himself, Henry Kissinger, was in China, Beijing, having a secret meeting and drinking that green tea with Cho Wen Lao or whoever it was there, making arrangements to send our manufacturing, the United States manufacturing, to China. Now, aren't you glad all you Vietnam vets went to fight in Vietnam? Huh? Aren't you glad that you did that? You fought for your country. You fought so that we could send our manufacturing to China. Wow. Pat yourself on the back. And we got the three stooges. We got one of the three stooges in the news, and that's Albert Einstein. And I want to get my smartphone, and I'm going to show you that. This is how they promote these people, and they keep brainwashing you. Those of you who are afraid, are frightened of the truth. I'm going to get it. Hold on. So here we are. It's November the 3rd, this article, Why Einstein Just Got Ranked as History's Greatest Hero. Yes, of course. It has to be one of the chosen ones. And here we have the picture of the greatest hero in history, Mr. Einstein, who was a low-rank patent clerk who, if you read the book by, I can't pronounce his name, there's a book out called, and I read it, I used to have it, and I had to get rid of it when I moved from Korea. It's called Einstein, the Incorrigible Plagiarist. But hey, let's not let the truth interfere with the greatest hero in history, right? And anyway, he apparently didn't have any money in his pockets one day, and he was coming out of a hotel, and he gave the bellboy, according to the Jerusalem-based auction house Winners Auction and Exhibition, that his note could be worth more than a tip someday. Someone bought it for $1.56 million. Wow. You know, these Esau Edomites get to create money out of thin air, and then they get to have it put into their bank account, and you people go to work. Hey, you people in California, you deadbeat property tax people, get your ass out of bed and go to work and pay that property tax, because you're depriving the children in the public schools from being brainwashed and programmed. But hey, I digress. So, and then he also, as Einstein's second note to the bellboy, far more inexpensive at $250,000, was also more cliche. Where there's a will, there's a way. Oh boy. You know, how to explain the price? Many Chadad, spokesman for Winners, put the parentheses around Chadad, I'm almost positive. The story behind the tip is so uplifting and inspiring because Einstein continues to be a global rock star long after his death. Oh, how inspiring. You know, geez, we should just bow to the Three Stooges. You know, who are the Three Stooges, you ask? Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud, and Einstein. And I think we ought to add another one there, and that would be Greenspan, Maestro. Yeah, remember that? Huh? He got out just in time so he wouldn't be blamed for that, what happened in 2008. I got some more. I want to talk about the art and the the Esau Edomite involvement in the art scene, but I'm going to hold that off for a separate video. And I do want to thank you for supporting this channel. But hey, maybe I could do a little. Maybe I should give my book to somebody and sign it, and maybe in the future I'll get $1.56 million for, or maybe the person I give the book to will get that kind of money. Well, what do you think? You think that's going to happen, folks? I don't think so. But hey, the sunrise came up this morning. It's really nice to be here. I was able to do some work around the 40-year-old Mini Winnie, and I want to thank Alan Jaroslovsky, put the parentheses around Jaroslovsky, for giving me the honor and the privilege of being able to live and restore a vintage 1977 Chevy 350 Mini Winnie. I just want to thank you so much for what you've done. And also, I don't want to leave out the other two Esau Edomite judges. That's Newman and Kruger up there in Butte. And let's not forget the Montana Supreme Court. And folks, I do want to tell you that the subscriptions on my channel for the last 3 weeks have just gone through the roof. I added 1 subscriber in the past month. Now, I could show you the back room if I was online, but I'm not online because I frankly can't afford it. But hey, maybe if I was born into the Esau Israelite seed line, I'd have money coming out my kazoo. But every time you mention anything about money, people want to jump up, the shills and the people that have been assigned to my channel. Oh, you're begging for money. You're begging for money. No, I'm not begging for money. I'm just being content with what I have. I want to thank you for subscribing. That 1 subscriber in the last 3 weeks, thank you so much for subscribing. And may the grace of God, Yahweh, the creator of the level plane, there is no space, there's water above and water below, that's why the sky is blue, there's a firmament covering the whole thing, the whole level plane earth. And I would still ask you to pray. I covet your prayers, and I would ask you to pray for my safety. I would ask you to pray that the Lord Yahweh, that God Yahweh would provide the more or the most suitable home for me. Tiny homes. I did a video, a couple videos there a couple videos on we're becoming we are a third world country. We're a third world empire, and we are collapsing. And that's why the people, young people, old people, they're all moving into their tiny homes. That's just a first world euphemism for a shack. Yeah, it's a little better than some of the shacks I've seen in some of the third world countries I've lived in. I've lived in 4 third world countries, and I've traveled in over 25 others. So I've seen these shacks. I've been in these shacks in Manila. I've been in the shacks in Manila. I was in Cambodia. A tuk-tuk driver there. I don't call them tuk-tuks there. That's in the neighbor Thailand. They call them tuk-tuks. I've been in these shacks, folks, and some of them don't even have running water. But hey, we're all equal. We're all one race. They just haven't, these third world people haven't had a chance. And speaking of third world people, this book is about the invasion of France and the West by the third world people coming from the Ganges River. I've seen I was in India. India was the only country that I've been in that I cut short my time allotted, and I left. And I'm not going to go into that right now, but people, I would highly recommend The Camp of the Saints. He's got page after page. Every paragraph is a quotable paragraph, folks. This guy's got insight that I haven't seen very often in written form. So I thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. May the grace of God our Father be with us all, for we certainly need it. See ya.
I'm not walking with the Lord like I used to. It's like temptation's got a hold of me. And I cry at night 'cause I ought to. And the praise to Him I hold, I'm on my bended knee. From the road I chose to raise my family, and the more I learned forgiveness, the less I saw of grief. And the more I watched His children in their eyes, I saw His light. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings. Thank you for the ride. Well, I